So in this video, we're gonna steal some licks and we're gonna try to cop some cool from one of the most influential blues rock guitarists of the last 50 years, Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top. Grab your guitar and get ready because we're gonna get bad and nationwide. Billy F. Gibbons is a rock and roll icon, a true living piece of American musical history that has done and seen it all. I mean, this guy was buddies with Jimi Hendrix and used to jam in hotel rooms with him in the 1960s. He had arena rock fame as a blues rocker in the 70s and even more fame in the 80s as a darling of MTV. And they've kept on rocking right up until this day. And through all the successes that ZZ Top has had, Billy Gibbons' Too Cool for School guitar has been right up front and center. I mean, Billy's got riffs that just won't quit. He's got tone for days, and he's got these wonderful bluesy solos that are somehow both aggressive and in your face, but with this great greasy phrasing that always seems to be lagging just behind the beat. Let's dive right into the deep end of the pool and learn a lick from Billy and ZZ Top's probably best known song, Grange. Now, Grange is a song that put ZZ Top on the map. It's a badass blues shuffle off the record Tres Hombres, and it's in the key of A. We're going to break down a lick that happens at 1 minute 34 seconds on the original recording, and it sounds like this. Now, this lick contains multiple Billyisms. It's got bluesy double stops, it's got this great rolling pentatonic sequence, and it's a lick that you really need to have in your blues rock arsenal. Now the song starts out in the key of A, but it changes to C for the first guitar solo. So that's where we're gonna take it up, and we're gonna be up at the 8th fret, sort of in the first pattern of C minor pentatonic. So the lick starts off, and actually we're gonna get out of that pentatonic box just briefly. We're gonna slide up to the 12th fret of the G string, and we're gonna play a G note, and then we're gonna play B flat at the 11th fret of our B string. We're gonna hit that B flat 3 times. And I'm hybrid picking. I'm gonna hit the G note with my pick, and I'm gonna hit the B flat with my middle finger. It sounds like this. And then we play another G and 2 B flats, and then we do that again. So that opening lick sounds like this. And one of the things that he does, the first time he plays it, when there's the 3 B flats, there's some separation. So you hear G and then the B flat, and they're pretty distinct. The next 2 times he plays it, all that sort of blurs together. He sort of holds that G note. So you get a little more of that double stop ringing out. From there, we're gonna slide down to the 10th fret of the G string, and we're gonna play the F and E flat notes, and then we're gonna bend that F up to G. And once we bend that F up into the G, we're gonna get into this rolling triplet lick that I think sounds so amazing. So far we've got then our blues lick, we play the 8th fret of the B and high E strings, then we play 11th fret of the B string, pull off to the G note at the 8th fret of the B string, then we play F at the 10th fret of our G, back to our G note at the 8th fret of the B string, then we've got E flat at the 8th fret of the G, and then we've got a C note at the 10th fret of our D string. Really cool lick. So here's the whole thing so far. And then Billy does what I hear, this little flurry of notes that I think he's hybrid picking, and he's going back and forth between the F and C at the 10th frets of the G and D string. Again, using the middle finger, pick, middle finger, pick, and then he's going to play the E flat at the 8th fret of the G string, and we're going to bend it up just a little bit. So we get this. One more time. And from there, we're going to slide into the 10th fret of our A string. That's a G note. And then we got the B flat on the D string at the 8th fret. And then, again, it's kind of hard to hear on the record. I'm playing basically G, F sharp, F on the A string at the 10th, 9th, and 8th frets. So we've got this. Then we slide to the E flat at the 6th fret, and we finish up the lick with C and B flat at the 8th and 6th frets of our low E string. So played slowly, the whole lick sounds like this. It's a great lick, great tune, put ZZ Top on the map. You got to learn it. Now we are on to lick number 2. Now we're going to play a lick from the mega hit Gimme All Your Lovin' off of the Eliminator record. It's the lick that ends the first solo at about 157 of the original recording. Let's have a listen. So we're going to be up at the 13th fret starting out, the little F chord shape there. And he's going to start the lick off by playing the minor third, or A flat, at the 13th fret. Then we go to the major third, which is A. Then we're going to play C, F, and E flat. The C and the F are at the 13th fret of both the B and E strings. The E flat is at the 16th fret of the B string. Now that little sequence of notes perfectly outlines an F7 chord. We've got the major third, the 5th, we've got the root, which is F, and E flat, which is our flat 7. And he threw in that flat third, the A flat, to make it sound bluesy. From there, we're going to play 2 A notes at the 14th fret. Then we slide to a B note at the 16th fret of our G string. And then we're going to play 2 D notes. I'm at the 15th fret of the B string. And then we're going to jump up to an F note at the 18th fret of the B string. And after we play that F note, we're going to play 3 double stops, and we're going to add the B note in that's at the 16th fret of the G string. And you've got an F and a B. It's a real gnarly interval called a tritone. You may have heard that. It is right in the middle of every dominant 7 chord. So that G7, matter of fact, the tritone that makes up the B is the major third and the F is the flat 7th. But you put those together in that higher register with a little distortion, and it sounds really gnarly. So here's the lick so far, playing up through that point with the 3 tritones. We're going to drop down to the 8th fret, sort of that C minor pentatonic first pattern again, and we're going to play another tritone. I've got an E flat at the 11th fret of the E string and an A at the 10th fret of our B string. You can actually bend that upwards, put a little attitude on it. We play a C note at the 8th fret of the high E string. Then we play G and C again. Those are both at the 8th fret of the B and E string. And then we're going to bend up the B flat at the 11th fret of our B string to C. So we've got... Then we hit the unison C at the 8th fret of our high E string. And then we're going to play our 10th fret. It's an F note on the G string. We're going to bend it up a whole step. And then we're going to hit a double stop on the B and G strings, 8th fret. And we're going to play, so we got a G and an E flat. And then we're going to hit that E flat note again. Part of the lick so far. And then we're going to hit the E flat again. We're going to drop down to our C note at the 10th fret of the D string. And then we're going to play F, E flat, and C again at the 10th fret and 8th fret of our G string and the 10th fret of the D string. So that whole part of the lick. Put it all together. Slowly we've got this. Another great lick with those tritones and the way that he outlines the 7th chord perfectly. It's a great lick to have under your fingers. So lick number 3, we're moving on to another song off of Tres Hombres that was sort of a weekend anthem when I was a younger man. Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers. The lick we're going to check out has Billy doing some right-hand tapping in a blues rock context all the way back in 1973. The lick happens at 1 minute 20 seconds of the original recording, and it goes like this. So the riff is in G, and it comes in after that first sort of stuttering, stopping part. Something like that anyway. So the lick starts off with a bend of the C note at the 5th fret of the G string. And I'm going to tap at the 8th fret of that G string. Basically, we're tapping onto an F note, pull off. Now, I think on the record, he actually probably plays a pedal steel type thing. But we're going to have more fun. We're going to do the tapping. So after we do our pull off, we let off the bend back to C. We play a B flat. We play the G note at the 5th fret of our D string. Then we play C again and a G note again. Back to B flat at the 3rd fret of the G. We're going to bend that C up again at the 5th fret. This time we tap a G note at the 10th fret of the G string. And he also puts a little vibrato on that, which sounds really cool. Now, I'm doing the vibrato with my fretting hand and just making sure that I hold that pressure firm with my tapping finger. So the lick so far. Now we're going to pull off again, let off that bend, and then drop to that B flat note. After we hit the B flat at the 3rd fret of our G string, we're going to bend up the C note at the 5th fret to D, and we're going to play a unison D at the 3rd fret of our B string. And then we play G note at the 3rd fret of the high E. And then we're going to play a little repeating figure. We're going to repeat F at the 6th fret to D at the 3rd fret of the B string. And then we play C, D, D's at the 3rd fret of our B. Then we play B flat at the 3rd fret of the G string. And we end up that part of the lick on the G note at the 5th fret of the D string. From there, he transitions, the song goes to a D7 chord. He's going to play a D at the 5th fret of the A string. And then we do that minor third to major third thing. Then he's going to play the D note at the 3rd fret of the B string, and then slide into the D note at the 7th fret of the G string. And then, this is a really cool thing, he slides up to the 10th fret and plays an F note, which is again our minor 3rd over a D, and he's going to bend that up just a little bit to hint at that major 3rd. And we end out the lick with kind of a weird figure. He plays C to B flat on the 5th to 3rd fret of the G string. Now I'm going to grab that C note again and bend it up to D, and then I'm going to kind of toggle on and off it, bending it, letting the bend go, bending it, let the bend go. And then that last time that we play it, we go down to the B flat at the 3rd fret, and we end up on the G note at the 5th fret of our D string. The whole lick slowly. Just super cool. Tons of attitude, crazy bends, the tapping way back in the day. Kind of mind-blowing probably for its time, and still sounds great. All right, lick number 4 opens the solo to Jesus Just Left Chicago. It's another song off of Tres Hombres. Those guys were just on fire back then. The lick comes at 1 minute and 30 seconds of the original recording, and this is what we're dealing with. So this lick starts off over a pedaling sort of a G. And we're going to start off with a really cool sounding double stop. I've got a C note at the 8th fret of the high E string and a B flat note at the 11th fret of my B string. And sort of the closeness of that, it's got really sounds gnarly with a little distortion on it. And then I'm going to play open G string, and then the B flat at the 3rd fret of the G string. Then I'm going to bend a C note up to D. That's at the 5th fret. Then I play my B flat again. Then I go over to F at the 3rd fret of the D string. Then I'm going to play B flat at the 6th fret of the low E and pull off to G. We go back up to our double stop, hit that twice again. We got a little slide out of that. And then we've got our open G again. Then we're going to play that bent C note at the 5th fret twice. Then drop down to our B flat. We play G at the 5th fret of the D string, back to our B flat, and then I'm gonna bend up the F note at the 6th fret of the B string to G. And we kind of let off that F note because we're gonna re-articulate it. Now here's where that Hendrixy bending technique comes in. When I re-articulate it, I'm gonna play it so that my middle finger is sort of sitting on the C note at the 5th fret of the G string. So while I'm bending up that F at the 6th fret of the B, I'm also bending up that C note at the 5th fret of the G string. So after I play that F, I'm going to hit the bent 5th fret of my G string and let off, and it kind of slurs together. And you used to hear Hendrix do that. Jimmy Page would play that sort of lick. That's where I'm sure Billy got it. So after he plays that, goes back to the B flat and then bends up the F note at the 6th fret of the B string again. So it sounds kind of sloppy, but it's bluesy, it's cool, it sounds gnarly and muscular. Another great technique you need in your trick bag. So the last lick we're going to look at today happens at 3 minutes and 24 seconds into the song Sure Got Cold After the Rain Fell. This tune goes all the way back to the record Rio Grande Mud, and it is a slow blues in 6/8 time. What I really want to show you today is the beautiful way that he handles the 5 chord in this tune. So the song is in the key of A, so the 5 chord is E7, and the lick sounds like this. So the song's in 6/8, the chords transition to the E, and the song is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, he comes in on the 4th beat of that measure, so we've got 1, 2, 3. And he actually holds that note for 4 beats. He's bending the D at the 15th fret of the B string up to E, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. He goes over the bar line into the first beat of the next measure. And now from there, he's going to do a descending lick in basically straight 8th notes. What's really cool about it is he outlines that E7 chord with a scale called the Mixolydian pentatonic. So Mixolydian pentatonic, it's a 5-note scale. We've got the root, we've got the major third, we've got the 4th, which is different, 5th, and the flat 7th. So over dominant 7 chord, that scale sounds particularly good. Billy coming out of that bent D to E, he plays D, B, A, G. So we've got our minor third to major third thing with the 4th. Then we go to E, B at the 14th fret of our A string, A at the 12th fret, and we end up with G sharp at the 11th fret of our A string. So that descending lick. So we're going to start it from the beginning. Remember, we bend up that D at the 15th fret of the B string to E. 1, 2, 3, 1, 5, 6, 1. Okay, so there you have it. 5 licks by the incomparable Billy Gibbons. And as I said before, not only is he a living, breathing piece of American musical history, but he's also a walking, talking textbook of everything Texas blues. Learn this stuff, add it to your playing, go out and melt people's faces at your local blues jams. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. As always, I'm going to be out here making these videos trying to help you make more sense of playing guitar solos. I will see you soon. Thanks. Goodbye.